What's up, y'all? This is Henny, and today I'm breaking down Luma Fusion and how it works for me on my new iPad Pro. And you know, there's been some updates, there's been some cool things that have happened since I've last came to y'all with the Luma Fusion tips and tricks. I've learned a few things myself, so I figured, damn, I mean, might as well give y'all a little piece of what I learned. I mean, that's what I was taught. I mean, it's better to give. Yeah, y'all know the rest. Luma Fusion 1.7, it's all the way up to 1.73 at the moment. It's got some really dope features, and I've just learned some new shortcuts, some new things, so I gotta show y'all those things so we can get in this thing. Y'all know what we do. Let's go.
The business.
Get myself hyped up for these damn intros every time. It's a process. I'm not gonna lie. It's a process, but I do it for y'all, man. I mean, once I get my energy right, the videos just keep flowing. So every year, my family gets together around this time of the year, and we, you know, we come and you know, tell each other why we're thankful, and we do what we call a family holiday give back, and you know, we divide a list of a whole bunch of items that we think might be needed for, you know, people in need, whether it's, you know, toiletry items, snacks, hygiene products, all of those things to be able to just make these bags for the unfortunate. This year we got together again trying to do 150 bags, and yeah, it was a great time like it always is. And of course, I brought the XT3 out. I had a few lenses with me, and you know, trying to make a video out of that. So that's what we're gonna do today. Show y'all a little bit about what I do on Luma Fusion and what I've learned. Let's do this. So the dope thing about, you know, Luma Fusion 1.7 is the inclusion of Storyblocks. And if you don't know what Storyblocks is, it's basically a online site where you can get your videos, like video clips that you might need, extra video clips for B-roll, things like that, different loops, different music, different sound effects, and it's been around for a while. But the fact that they've integrated it with Luma Fusion is pretty clutch, and I have the opportunity now to show you how that's working for me. It's definitely a monthly subscription or a yearly subscription, depending on how you look at it. I believe it's like $9.99 a month or about $70 for the year. But when you're looking at something like, I know a lot of us are looking for royalty-free music to put in our videos, or looking for the best place to find our sound effects, or best place to find, you know, different maybe B-roll pieces. Maybe you just need that extra background or that extra, you know, drone shot or something that you might not have had in your video that you need. Now, the fact that you can combine all of that into this, you know, Storyblocks integration within Luma Fusion, it kind of makes it not that expensive when you think about it for the yearly price, which is what I have. I have the yearly price, which is $70. And let me show you how that works. So I go in here, you know, hopefully y'all can see this. I go in here, and now you can see they have the Storyblocks. And within Storyblocks, you can look based off of all their different categories, right? Different footage, backgrounds. You know, you got footage, you got backgrounds, you got music, loops of sound effects, and then whatever you've downloaded onto your device. And so, you know, say for instance, you know, I'm looking for music. Let's start out with, I'm looking for a track. Usually I use my own tracks, but you know, I'm gonna look for a track. Let me just type in. You can type in. You can search. You just type in, you know, hip hop. Let me see what they have here, and you can just pretty much cycle through. Now they do have a few things that are free that you can actually download on your device without paying any subscription. But to get the full advantage of Storyblocks, you're definitely gonna have to, you know, do the subscription and all of that. So let me listen to a few of these. All right, so say that I like this track that I got from Storyblocks. All I have to do is hit this arrow right here, and it'll go to my timeline. And it'll download from their site, and then I can start working from that. Plays normal, plays good, and it's now in your, if you go back in Storyblocks, it's all the way down in your downloaded media. And you'll find, your tracks and all of that right there. So the dope thing is, there's places where you can find, good music out there. There's a lot of people tell you about, different places for you to find music. But what if you need sound effects? What if you need, different video pieces? And that's why I like this, because it has it all, and it has it all built in within the app. And that's why I think Storyblocks is so crazy. It is just very convenient once you make that investment. And so, yeah, that's Storyblocks. I'm gonna get a little bit more into that as I get into my edit. Now, one of the things that I haven't talked about on LumaFusion that I probably should have, that I never really started to work at, was using the shortcuts. I don't know what I was thinking. The shortcuts on the keyboard are so clutch once you use your pencil on one hand and start using, your fingers for the shortcuts on the other. Let me show you how that works. So I'm gonna go into the edit that I was working on for our holiday family give back. Oh, and another thing that's cool. Now you can do multiple selections within, a folder. So, say for instance, you took, pictures on a camera and you wanted to make it into a time lapse. You did a time lapse and your camera didn't have that built-in feature. Say these were all these were photos. You can literally go into your project settings and say, for every picture you want it to be, you can go into the general settings, and for every picture you want it to be like 1 frame, right? You can see photo down here. You can do it, basically a photo will last 1 frame. So if I put a picture in here, let me find a picture, hold on. It'll basically be 1 frame, and you can do a timeline like that if you selected them all, right? So you go here, you go to select, they have the 1 check for 1 select, and then the double check for all. And so you can pretty much select them all, or you can select them singular. So for now, I'm just gonna select a few clips. And if I drag it all down, you'll see I have all those clips coming in succession, right? Now these are on my X-T3, and I shot them using the 16mm 1.4 lens. And so now if I go down here and I look and I hit the command key, it's going to show me all of my shortcuts for this app. Everything from, play, pause, split, redo, undo, delete clip, zoom in, zoom out, trim the clip, add your preset, add your copy from the clipboard, add a blank clip. So all of these things work well. So what I've been doing is I'll go in, I'll find the piece that I like until the point that I like it, and I can hit, Command B, it's going to splice it, and then Command X is going to delete that part. Say for instance, I want to add one of my LUTs or my presets that I've already had saved in LumaFusion to one of my clips. Now I don't have to double tap it and go all the way through that process. It's already saved. I can just tap on a click, hit Option P, and it's pulling up all my user effects. And so I have one that's like AJU2. That's my little LUT that I'm using for this. And I can do that, go to here, hit clip, hit copy. I like all of that. And now for every clip that I like, I can just hit Option A, paste on the clipboard, and it's pasting all of those attributes to every clip. And so when you start working with your hands and your pencil using the keyboard and the pencil at once, it starts to make things really quick to be able to do little things and really start making this even more fluid. So I would really recommend hitting the command key, seeing exactly all these shortcuts that you can use. This is not necessarily a 1.7 new update, but I just wasn't using this, and I don't know why, because if you have the smart keyboard, it makes all the sense in the world to really start investing your mind space into all the different shortcuts, all the different ways you can use the keyboard for your advantage in LumaFusion. Let's keep going.
Create traditions.
Now, another thing that I don't know why I didn't use it before, but it's so clutch, is the audio ducking feature. It just makes everything so easy when you're trying to come in and out between B-roll music and somebody speaking. So let me put a track in here. Let me go back. I'm gonna go to Storyblocks. I'm gonna go to that download folder of that file that I had. Put that file down here. I have this, right? Now I have audio from an interview piece that I did as far as our give back, but then I also have this beat that I have going, and I want them to play together. And I really don't want to have to figure out exactly what levels they're going to what levels they're going to have to be able to, keep them together where it sounds good. And so first thing I'm gonna do, put the LUT on here, hit Option A, put the LUT on that. And then the second thing I'm gonna do, I'm going to set the ducking settings for this audio of the beat. So I go here, I go into configuration in the audio tab of the, the edit window. And it'll give you three options: none, auto, and master. Now, if you don't want the music to do anything, if you don't want it to change, duck, do anything, you keep it on none. Now, if it's a beat or something that you want to come up and come down in the background, you want to be able to, have that duck, you're going to set that to auto. You're going to set the beat to auto. If I go back here and I listen to my cousin's voice, she's in talk.
It gets harder and harder at, each generation.
So we're going to go in here. I'm going to go to the audio tab for her. And when it comes to ducking, I'm going to set that clip as the master. Yeah, so I set that as the master file. And what you'll see is the beat will actually duck underneath that, because now that is set to auto and this clip is set to master. Let me show you how that sounds.
Our family has this amazing story of connectedness over 150 years.
Now, if I go here, hit Command B, that's all I wanted for that piece, and I come out of it, it's gonna re-go back up. Let me put some, now this is a file that I downloaded from Storyblocks. This is just a little time-lapse piece. And so watch, it'll come right out of it.
I think this has this amazing story of connectedness over 150 years.
Now it's not a 1.7 thing. It's been there for a long time, but there's so much in the LumaFusion that even me, I'm learning things all the time. And that just makes things so simple, because I was doing two different levels of audio. I would be going here to the audio mixer and trying to mix the audio and cut it and slice and chop it up. Makes it way easier just to use the ducking feature. Now, if you have another clip that you want to use as audio for the master, you're going to have to reselect that clip as another master. So let me go back just to be clear. If I want to have my nephew come back in and talk and have him speak, I'm gonna have to double click on that, and I have to go back to audio configuration and set that clip to master as well.
Happy holidays.
Now, if you don't like the levels that is set automatically in the ducking feature, you can always go here to settings, go to project settings, and look at the duck volume. It's ducking it to -20 dB. If you want it more than that or less than that, you can set that, and it'll give you the auto ducking settings. It's been there for a while. It's not necessarily in the new update, but it's something that I just figured out that I really, really like, as far as making it easy to get these edits going and flowing quick. Now, once you're all done, a new feature in 1.7, which is cool, is say for instance, you know, you've done your video, you put it on YouTube or put it wherever you're gonna go, you uploaded it somewhere, you probably backed it up to maybe a cloud or a hard drive, maybe using one of these WDs or something like that. There's a new feature called cleanup. And so if you go into settings and you hit cleanup, it'll show you what your temporary files are, what your unused cached file media is, and what all your cleanup media is. So if you hit one of those, you can actually clean up your media to save you some space once you're done editing. And you know, it's just a good feature when you might not have as much, you know, on your iPad as far as, like, you know, your gigabyte size. And so it's just another cool feature. You know, it'll show you what's taking up the most space, and you can click on that and you can clean that up, you know. I don't have much here that needs to be cleaned, but if I did, that would be an easy way for me to go, hit there, clean it up, and, you know, bam, I'm saving space on my iPad. So, you know, it's just good stuff all around, man. I mean, come on. Other thing which is cool is just the actual sliders in the edit window. And this is a quick update, but it's just a little arrows. Like if you're always having trouble like trying to figure out your exact thing that you're dialed in, maybe you know, I wanted the volume to be at 40, 43 or 44. And now you have these nudges where you can literally, it'll just nudge down or nudge up. And you won't have to worry so much about having a hard time finding that exact spot on whatever thing you're trying to dial in. It's actually helping you out there. The one thing I would ask for LumaFusion is if, you know, there's a feature where if you double tap the middle, it would just go back to its basic setting. You know, that's one thing that I would like. Say for instance, I'm trying to do a speed ramp and I wanted to go all the way back to 0. If I could just double tap, you know, double tap this, it would just automatically go back to reset. Little things like that would make it so easy in certain parameters in the app. But, you know, hey, in due time, right? In due time. So, I mean, for the most part, I haven't had any issues with LumaFusion with this new iPad Pro. Like I said before, it's been faster. It's been faster in the rendering. My files seem to be able to stack up better. It seems like, you know, the files are downloading faster. Maybe it's just the overall processor within the iPad. But all in all, I would say that I'm learning more and more every day just by diving deeper into this app. And that's all you got to remember is it's going to take time for you to really start to master these things. You know, I've been using this GH5 camera for almost 2 years now, and I keep going back and forth trying to figure out what's the best camera for me. What's the better camera? I've tried so many cameras this year, it's ridiculous. But I keep this camera because it's always giving me good image quality. It's always giving me good audio. People ask, you know, how are you doing your setup? This is basically just a Rode VideoMic Pro Plus, you know, coming right down, and that's basically plugged directly into the GH5. It's the simplicity of that makes this situation so easy for me. But I say all that to say, it's the fact that I've learned this camera in and out, and it makes it so clutch for me to be able to do whatever I need to do. And so when I look at LumaFusion and you know, how it's getting better and the things that I'm learning, even been using it, you know, a little over a year now, it's just getting better. So hopefully you got something from that. What I do want to do is show you the actual edited video that I have for my holiday give back. And yeah, man, it's just something that we do every year because, you know, my family's blessed. You know, I feel very blessed to be able to do the things that I'm doing, and we're always trying to give back as a family. So this is our family holiday give back. I thank you guys all for checking back in, and y'all know what it is. Catch y'all in the next one. Roll it!
This is the 4th annual Henderson Family Give Back, and we are so excited to have the entire family and our extended friends to be a part of this.
The business.
Our family is, I think, has this amazing story of connectedness over 150 years. And, you know, that gets harder and harder at, you know, each generation that goes along, because we're not in one little farming community in North Carolina anymore. We're spread out everywhere.
Okay, this is our 4th Family Give Back Day. Started a couple years ago. We thought we have all this leftover food for Thanksgiving. Should we give it to the homeless? But then that was a little against the rules to just go out and hand out food. We wanted to include the children, so then we thought, okay, let's put together toiletry bags. Let's do an assembly line so the small kids, the big kids, everybody could help out for Family Give Back Day.
Growing up, I didn't have a lot. Grew up in a single parent home, which a lot of people can identify with. So it means a lot to me to be able to give back and to be able to see people smile as a result of, me coming out of the struggle and showing an example that, no matter where you come from, there's always brighter days, and you can overcome any adversity in your life as long as you stay focused, committed, and you have the right mentors.
We step things up year from year. We've had more families that have been added in. We add more items that we're giving to those who are in need. And just together, we're trying to make it so that we're following God's word.
I think it sets an example for kids. Me growing up as a little guy, I don't remember giving back so much. I learned that later in life, and with all the kids that are here, I think we set the example for them to carry on that tradition and be more of a lifestyle for them, and they'll be blessed, and they're also blessing other people, so it's very important.
One of the great things about this activity is that we're showing the young people in our lives that it's really important that you're blessed and you can be a blessing to others. So that is the why, is why I do it and really enjoy it every year.
I think it's important. I think it's a great tradition that we're starting. We're trying to continue. The fact that we're bringing our extended family, not just Hendersons, but even those who aren't Hendersons, to help pull this off. I think it just shows that everybody thinks this is a great idea, and it helps to drive the season.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Happy holidays.
I'm a team player. I'm a team player. I'm a team player. Love you. Okay, reach out.
Walk away.
Walk away.
Walk.
Walk.
Peace out.
Peace out.
No. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See you later.
See you later.
Ah!